Hi guys, it's one and only my favorite teacher. So on this session, we are doing functions grade 8. So here they're saying draw the equation of the following straight line. So number one, they want us to draw the equation of the following line being given by y is equals to x plus 3. So for you to draw the equation of this line, you must have what you call a table of values. So you must have what you call a table of values. So you're gonna draw your table. Make sure that you use a ruler. Then here we'll put x, here we'll put y. Then here we can start at minus 3. And then that is minus 2. Make sure that you use a rule. Minus 1, so that your work is much easier. 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I won't encourage you to draw it the way I'm just drawing it. Make sure that you use a ruler so that the work is much neat, right? So this is what we are having, y is equals to x plus 3. So one thing that you need to understand is that the equation of a straight line always it will be given by the function y is equals to mx plus c. So you need to always remember that the value of m represents what you call the gradient. And then the value of c represents what you call the y-intercept. The y-intercept. So when we speak about the gradient, we're speaking about the steepness of the graph or the slopeness of the graph. When we speak about c being the value of the y-intercept is a point on the graph where the graph passes on the y-axis. So basically what you are going to do, since here I know that that is for x is equals to minus 3, you can do it roughly like this and say for x it's equals to what? Negative 3. So when you're saying for x is equals to negative 3, you write the equation y is equals to, remember you do this aside on a scribbler with a pencil. You write the equation of the function denoted by y is equals to x plus 3. And then the next step that you need to do, in a place of x, I'm going to substitute by negative 3 so that we get the y value in order for us to plot the graph. So it will be y is equals to, so there you go, you're having the value of x. So the value of x, you'll write minus 3 right there because you're starting at negative 3. And then after writing that, you continue, you're going to say plus 3. So therefore, the y value will be equals to, we all know that when you say minus 3 plus 3, you're going to get 0. So the 0 that you got is the one that you're going to write here, right? And then you go to the second part. I'm going to say for x, it's equals to negative 2. Then you write your equation, which will be y is equals to x plus 3. Remember, you do this aside on a scribbler with a pencil, right? And then you're going to say y is equals to, so the next step is a matter of you now substituting the value of x. So we can see that our x is now what? Negative 2. So open bracket, minus 2, and then you say plus 3. Plus 3. Therefore, the value of y is equals to, so we know that minus 2 plus 3 gives us 1. So we're going to write 1, the one that we got. You continue with this. You're going to say, let me write it now here. You're going to say for x is equals to negative 1. Then you say y is equals to, you write the equation of a straight line, that will be x plus 3. Right? And then it will be y is equals to, so since now the value of x is represented by negative 1 grade 8, write negative 1, and then you add 3. So therefore, the y value is equals to negative 1 plus 3. That is going to be 2. So you write 2. So you're going to go to your table of values, you write 2. You continue. You're going to say Utilizing space, you're going to say for x is equals to 0. And then after writing for x is equals to 0, you write your equation. Y is equals to what? Y is equals to x plus 3. So you're going to write x plus 3. And then you're going to say y is equals to, now since the value of x is represented by 0, it means to say where there is x, I'm going to write 0 grade 8. And then you say plus 3. We know that, therefore, the value of y is 0 plus 3 is going to be what? You're going to get 3. So the 3 that you got, you're going to write it here. You write 3. And then after that, you continue and say for x is equals to 1, then we write our equation. Y is equals to x plus 3. So the next step here is simply you writing y is equals to, and then in a place of x, since now I know that my x is 1, I'm going to write open bracket, 1, close bracket, and then you add 3 that you have on your given equation, plus 3. Therefore, the y value, we know that 1 plus 3, we're going to get what? We're going to get 4. So that 4 that you get, you write 4 here. And then we are left with writing 2 of those. So now we are having for x, it's equals to 2. So when we're saying for x is equals to 2, simply means to say we are going to write the equation y is equals to that is x plus 3. Remember, you can't draw this equation if you don't have these values that I'm showing you how to get. Then you're gonna say y is equals to, so the value of x is 2. So you're gonna say 2, then you say plus 3. Therefore, the value of y, we are getting 5. So the 5 that you got here, you're gonna write it there. Then lastly, we are now left with what? The last one being for x is equals to 3. For x is equals to 3. So even this one, for x is equals to 3, it's a matter of you now using the equation that you all know. Y is equals to, remember to write the equation first, and then you substitute after x plus 3. And then it will be y, it's equals to, then the value of x, you can see that we are given 3. So that will be open bracket 3, and then continue and say plus 3. And then therefore, the y value here will get what? 6, because 3 plus 3 is 6. The 6 that you have, it means that you're going to write it there. So can you see that now you're having all the information that you were needing? So it means to say now we are drawing the graph. So as you draw your graph, make sure that you use a ruler, guys. Mine is not going to be 100% straight because I'm using a freehand, right? But you on the other side, make sure that you use a ruler, guys, so that your work is much neat. So here we are having, we're going to move with the scale of what? Of 1. So it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just try my best here. So we write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Remember these ones, they're negative. So all of them, they should be what? They should be negative, just like that. Then here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Remember, guys, you must always use a ruler. You must not draw freehand so that your work is much neat. So that is the y-axis right here. Don't draw it freehand like I'm doing. Then that is x-axis. Utilize a ruler then to make your work to be much neat and easy. So from here, Let's now plot the graph. So as you are plotting the graph, our first coordinate, it will be what? It will be -3 and 0. -3 and 0, it's here. Let me use a different color. -3 and 0, it's here. So that will be our first point. And then our second point is -2 and 1. So you go to the Cartesian plane. Where there is -2 and 1, you plot. Where -2 and 1, they simply meet, you make a dot. And then also the third one, it's -1 and 2. So -1 and 2, where they meet, simply make a dot. So make sure that you use a ruler so that your points can be in alignment. Then the other one, it's 0 and 3. So where there is 0 and 3, make a dot. And then we are also having 1 and 4. So you go where there is 1 and 4, make a dot somewhere right there. And then where there is 2 and 5, you make a dot. That is 2 and 5. Simply make a dot. Simply make a dot somewhere right there. Lastly, the last coordinate is 3 and 6. So you go to the Cartesian plane. Where 3 and 6, they simply meet, you make another coordinate. So can you see your points should be in alignment? It's a pity that I didn't use a ruler, but when you draw a graph, the correct way is you making sure that you use a ruler. And then after that, guys, you're going to use a ruler. You join these points using a ruler, not a free. You're going to draw this graph using a free hand, but you must always use a rule. So you're going to have those points. These points should be in alignment. When you use a ruler, they will be in alignment because it's a linear function, it's a straight line. So it means to say, as you're drawing that graph, you should have those points in alignment. And then one thing that you need to understand, you're going to label this graph. We're going to say y is equals to, what is the equation that denotes this function? It's x plus 3. Simply means to say here, I'm going to write what? X plus 3. So this is the equation of this linear function. And mind you, let me show you something. Since this is the equation y is equals to x plus 3, remember that taking it from the general equation that denotes all the straight lines, which is what? Y is equals to mx plus c. So if I can conclude from here, we all know that here we're going to have a coefficient of 1. Here, we're going to have a coefficient of 1. So this simply means to say our m, it's equals to 1. Remember, I told you from here that m represent what? M represent what we call the gradient. Do you see? So it simply means to say your m is 1. And then that 1, what does it represent? Simply representing the gradient. And then the interesting part is that the value of c shows you where the graph passes. So since here we all know that c represents the y-intercept, I've showed you that c represents the y-intercept from here. So this basically means to say, since this is 3, this graph should pass exactly at 3 on the y-axis. Do you see? So this point here, it represents what? Simply represent the y-intercept at 3 exactly. So this is the y-intercept. Why is it the y-intercept? It's because of the y-intercept. It's a point on the graph where the graph passes on the y-axis. So since that is the y-axis, it means to say that graph should pass exactly at 3. If you're gonna draw your graph and then the graph won't pass at the y-intercept being 3, it means to say your graph is wrong. So that's how basically you draw that graph, right? And then now let's make sure that we do the second question. So on the second question, they want us to draw the equation y is equals to 2x plus 1. So we're going to draw the graph y is equals to 2x plus 1. So remember that you must always have a table of values, right? Always. You draw a table of values using a ruler. So that is going to be your x right here, and then your y. So you can start at -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Right? And then you do the very same calculations that I've just showed you that I was doing for number 1. So let's do that. The first thing you write the equation. Y is equals to what? 2x plus 1. And mind you, let me show you something before I can even further write this. I know that my line will be like this. And then since here we are having the y-intercept being 1, it simply means to say your graph should pass exactly at 1. So when you draw your graph, it should mean that you are going to have a graph that is like this, straight line graph that is like that, exactly passing at 1. Let's see. So you're gonna take your equation, you write y, it's equals to 2, and then in the place of x, we're gonna start by substituting -2. So I'm gonna say 2 into -2, and then you now add 1. You say plus 1. That will be y, it's equals to 2 times -2 grade 8, it's what? -4 plus 1. Therefore, the value for y, it's equals to -4 plus 1. That should give you -3. So it means to say here, you're going to write the -3 on the table of values, right? Then you write the equation again. Y is equals to, that is 2x plus 1. And then it will be y is equals to what? Y is equals to 2. And then open bracket. Now the value of x, what are we going to substitute? We're going to substitute -1. And then you say plus 1. Then that will be y, it's equals to 2 times -1. That's -2. So you're going to write -2 plus 1. Therefore, the y value, you simply press your calculator. We all know that -2 plus 1 is -1. So the -1 that we got, we're simply going to write it there, right? And then you write the equation, y is equals to what? 2x plus 1. So that will be y, it's equals to 2. So for this one, what are we going to substitute? The value of x now is 0. I'm going to write 0. Then I'm going to say plus 1. So that will be y, it's equals to 2 times naught. It's naught or 0 plus 1. Therefore, the value of y, it's equals to 1. So this one that we got, we're going to write it right there. Then now we're going to write another part, which is y is equals to 2x plus 1. Making sure that here, for the value of x, we're going to substitute 1. So that will be y, it's equals to 2 into open bracket. Now we substitute the value of x being 1. And then we're going to say what? We're going to say plus 1. Then it will be y is equals to 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1. Therefore, the y value is going to be equals to what? 3. Reason being is because of 2 plus 1 is 3. So where x is 1, our y value is 3. So we're going to write 3. So now we are left with the last part, right, of substituting the value of x being 2. So I'm going to say y, it's equals to 2x plus 1. You write 2x plus 1. So that will be y, it's equals to 2. Then now in the place of x, what do we substitute? Let's see. We substitute by 2. So I'm going to write 2. And then I'm going to say what? Plus 1. And then here you're going to say y, it's equals to, you're going to say 2 times 2, it will be 4. Then you say plus 1. Therefore, the y value is what? It's 5. So this 5 that we got, it simply means to say, we are going to the table, then we write what? We write 5 right there, right? And then after this, guys, that's when you plot the graph. Remember, I've showed you that the graph that you're going to have is this graph here, this one. And then it should pass exactly at 1. Let us see. So you use your ruler, you plot your graph. You use your ruler. Make sure that you use a ruler. And then here we know that that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember this, once they should be negative, then that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Together with these ones as well. On the left-hand side of the x-axis, they should be negative. Then here you write 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is your Cartesian plane. Make sure that you use a rule. And then we label it. Remember that that is going to be the y-axis always. That is going to be the what? The x-axis. Right? And then from here now we can do what? We can simply try to draw our graph. So first coordinates, it will be -2 and -3. -2 and -3. Where they meet, we make a dot. And then the second one, it will be -1 and -1. Where -1 and -1 they meet, you make another dot. You make another dot right there. And then we're going to have 0 and 1. 0 and 1, where they meet, you make a dot. Then we're going to have 1 and 3. Where 1 and 3 they meet, you make a dot or a coordinate. And then lastly, we're having 2 and 5. So where 2 and 5 they meet, you make another coordinate or another point. So can you see that you are having those points? Then after having those points, grade 8, what you're going to do, you're going to use a ruler. Make sure that you use a ruler. Make sure that you use a ruler so that your points are on a straight line. Make sure that you use your ruler so that your points are on a straight line. And then don't forget, just because of this equation of a straight line, it's y is equals to 2x plus 1, simply means to say here we're gonna label this graph as y is equals to what? 2x plus 1. So this will be your equation of this red straight line. And then remember this equation we are given as y is equals to 2x plus 1. And then the equation of a straight line is y is equals to mx plus c. So this basically means to say c is the value of +1. So this graph should pass at +1, just like that. So here it's the y-intercept. So when you speak about the y-intercept, it's a point on the graph where the graph passes on the y-axis. It's the one and only maths favorite teacher once again. Stay tuned for more grade 8.